school in the morning.
All the way to hike?
No, to Marina.
Okay.
And then I caught the car that was going to hike.
That's how you did it.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. I got it because I was curious. How in the heck did you guys?
Hi, Rick.
Hey, Janice.
I won't come anywhere close to you.
Yeah.
You're the one with the camera.
Good to see you.
Hi.
Did you say hi to Rita?
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Hi. Welcome.
Here's my. Thanks for that. Yeah, here's I shared this with.
Hi. Are you Lavina? Yes. Oh, okay. I heard your name. That's yeah.
Every day I try to
I recognize you. Martin hadn't.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, good to see you. Yeah.
Plans will succeed.
Good to see you. You too.
All will be well. All will be well.
This is happy to see you.
Bye. Good to see you. Good to see you today. Ed gave me your number and it didn't work. So I should check it out. Myrna, how are you? You know, thank you for taking time to join us.
It was a street fair. We saw it in the paper.
Oh my goodness. I dug up my report today, and I still have a whole slew of little pictures. And the most memorable event of the 2 years was...
Oh, you missed us.
Well, I got you anyway. Oh.
I think I have a camera like that.
You have one?
I like it.
Yeah.
So, but they have boards like this high at the ends, and on the side it's just the sidewalk. But a very nice setup actually. They have about 6 rinks in a row. 5 or 6.
That was today, Ramona's Reach. I hadn't heard about that.
So Landon, who has an office job, was starting his 6th game as we left. So he will pay the price tomorrow.
All of them. Well.
No, the other kids not so much.
Maybe that's what you always did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, then it's pretty easy to That's a totally different attitude. Yeah.
Why, you did too much farming?
Well, it seems to me I missed quite a few days. But maybe I was just looking at my marks.
So where'd you get this, Ray?
Found it in Dad's stuff.
Oh, really? Okay, so he
Yeah.
had it.
Yeah, I don't know why he had it, but I think he was involved in the board at one point, but I can't...
We were talking about that. We all weren't quite sure if he had been on the board or not. We all kind of figured he had been, but
Yeah.
apparently the pictures that we have don't have him on the picture or something.
Well, and I haven't been able to find the other yearbook.
Last year wasn't so good. And well, the gas price came down.
I thought that was our
They also had to do with
Marvin's retired.
My truck there. $7.99. There's a small one.
but it's coming with the...
Where you like that would be tomorrow sort of when people arrive.
Yes. Is that still okay?
Well, I'll show you what I did.
Fantastic. You're ahead of me.
I can't go back home and change it, but I could maybe take a marker.
Yeah, this is fantastic. This is going to be thinking time, you know? Almar distributor.
That long and I was up at the harbor.
Oh, yes, yes. But I learned that one from what's the
Oh yeah, he was a baby there.
was sick less than 2 weeks.
Probably be familiar once you see it.
Yes.
Years ago, and that house is still living.
That's against that.
That's impressive.
And my dad bought the land and the buildings,
We're talking about where this
and then he
came
let
from, and I said, well,
the school use it
but the stuff that
for the
really
2 or
first
3
came
years.
from-
Yeah, and then he sold it.
But it was not a new building when we started using it,
Oh,
was
no,
it?
no, it was the old hike school. It was an
So
elementary.
when was it built?
It was an elementary school. Well, I have a link on Facebook to it.
Oh, you're in trouble.
Don't remember offhand, but
Oh, yes.
and my Facebook doesn't work here. Not enough cellular coverage.
I was still able to call before, but it was choppy and.
Yeah.
So that's why it's coming in there.
Oh, yeah.
Well, maybe not more dangerous, but they have more
I
access.
have the summer off. I told them they hired me. That's also one of the things you can do when you're hired.
Yeah. And you said,
Yeah.
Fall into a
And
bush, you
so,
can probably walk away.
but then I still
Whereas
can
with
came
an
up
airline,
this
you're
weekend.
coming down so fast.
I mean, you start seeing
sometimes it's amazing.
big Baptist church. Well, they have like 3 laymen.
Yeah, it's
And
amazing.
they all have their own livelihood outside of it. Yeah, in that sense, that is that. But these guys, they find it, they get tired or they whatever. And so it seems to be coming in, and like I'm considered half time, I guess. I'll book extra time off yet.
Yeah.
But
You gotta have your wisdom. You always had that. Are you ready? So you're in there, and I come and see you or something, and I come saying, this was your baby now, and then you would deal with the way you deal with it. But it's not unless you make a difference. So then how do you say,
well, if it's just, I don't know. I've not really had a lot of tough nut. And these other pastors are just very they have something, and they have experience.
Well, there were 3 years that.
It was 3, and was it Harry teaching every year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I asked Lavina about that,
Yeah.
and she said it was 3 years. So
Okay.
yeah.
I remember clearly that you were there when I was there. I remember.
There is a picture of me in one of these books. Did you find yourself in there?
I did.
Yeah. What does it say? Does it say what Ron said it says?
I think so.
Oh.
What did he say it said?
Well, I don't remember.
Dynamite is packed in small packages.
Oh, okay. That's what he said.
He's not in here. Where would he be in 68?
I don't know.
That looks pretty official.
Yeah? Well, it's a picture. And it's for Bert.
Oh, yeah. Oh, here's Marvin.
Hi, Marvin.
Yeah, just a good hit.
You got strangled.
Not too tight.
Today you can get me there.
508. Same with the company.
Hi, Rick.
Hi, how are you?
Nice to see you.
Dad is coming apparently, so.
Oh, good.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was on the board and stuff, right?
Yeah, he was on the board.
Oh, yeah.
He bought the property and
Okay.
then he lent it to the school for 3 years and then he sold it.
Okay, that wasn't on your land or anything?
Well, it was.
I mean,
Well, it was the 2 acres. Yeah, just the 2 acres. Or 3 acres, or whatever the land was. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah?
Other than for Halloween.
Oh, okay.
For Halloween.
Wilbur, schmuck out? Oh, that's a shame.
We'll do the photos now outdoors.
Dad is coming, so.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear. I'm glad to hear. Okay, folks, our photographer is ready for some group shots. She loves outdoor setting. There's no bright sunbeams today, so this is perfect for outdoor photography, she tells me. We'll exit the main door to the south side and along the trees there. You tell us where to go, by where in the trees.
Yeah, kind of go like towards that way, provided it's not pouring rain outside.
Right, and what we'll start with is a group shot of absolutely everybody. And then we'd like to have one group shot of just the students, all the students, and we'll probably ask those who were first year, and maybe the left and right there. Those who were there in the middle 2 years in the middle of the picture, and the ones who were there the last third year to be right in the picture, or vice versa, wherever you put us. And then she says she would love to do, like if you have individual friends that you remember from school, I'd love to have a shot from me and my buddy. Marianne, not coming.
I know.
I want to stand behind you.
No.
This is the last year, that's the middle year, that's the first year.
You don't know which year?
I don't know which year.
You got to be in the middle.
Probably.
On the road and then
right in the middle of the front. You need something.
I think you gotta be farther up the front.
I don't even.
I have no idea. What
You're short, get back here.
we should put him in the
Where'd you go?
Join the Yakuza, so they have to take part of your finger off.
That was actually
Okay, we're going to stand here.
Whoever was here the first year.
Oh, she did. Oh.
Yes, there you go.
Alan, you're supposed to be smiling.
That is a smile, don't you know?
Right away.
It is. It's so nice. And then so that all the adults are trying to get the kids. Right around the
Well, Landon's proposal is
Ah, you made it. Good. Glad you did. Hey, Kel, thanks for bringing him. Yeah, so dinner is served in a little while, so if you want to stay for dinner, you're welcome to.
I don't eat much.
Well, so much more welcome. Yeah.
But you wouldn't say that if we ate less, we're more welcome.
Yeah, that's right. I did quite a few weddings back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
50 years ago.
The thought of it,
So do you remember how many years you were involved with the school?
Well, I think it was a couple of years.
It ran for 3 years at Hike, right?
I continued working.
And then it was 1 year before that in Menville?
5 years, I guess. years. Well, they had,
I said, is that
there were
Jerry's
some
bike?
going
But
to
the amount
to that school there. But they're really, I can see that 2 years and
Well,
It was a little bit too close for me.
Lavina says she was there 3 years.
That way I don't need to worry, but it's really dealing with it.
Did you sell it almost right away after it closed? After it closed, did you sell the building almost right away, or you don't remember?
So it was like,
yeah, I saw it there.
finally we have to separate ourselves.
You can come up from this.
That's cool. So that's good that you were able to come and say hello and just pitch in for supper. Our supper is 3 o'clock, an hour and a half for supper. Sorry, it's a bit early, huh?
So they've expanded.
But, pardon me? Okay, but we're just glad that you're here.
He was asking how many people had showed up.
You know, I think about 40. Maybe 42.
40 out of 60 or 40 out of...
Very close, Raymond. Very close. Yes. Yeah. Well, pardon me. Let's back up a bit.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing kids do now.
No, I'd say about
50%.
50%.
Considered it
50% of the students.
So 40 out of 80.
Yes, but 40. There were only
my intention to.
52 students.
Now in the end, I just didn't have the energy anymore.
52 students, and we're about. Well, maybe you're right. Maybe we're at closer to 60% than I thought. See, like in your case, you and Martha both attended, whereas in my case, it was just me. And so we have a lot of spouses here, and we're happy to have every spouse who came.
Rely on good personnel to run it.
Yeah, you know, I think we had a very decent number turn out today. Very decent. Yeah, very, very happy.
Ron Platt.
Yes, sir. All you have to do is look at me and you can tell who I am, right? I'm the spitting image of my old man. Right?
No, I don't know yet. I can trace you.
Okay, Aaron Affleck. Big Aaron.
Oh, yeah.
Now you can tell I'm the spitting image of my old man, right?
Well, not quite, no.
Oh, you don't think so? I always thought it was.
Well, first time I saw Ron was what, a year ago, 2 years?
Yes,
a year ago.
Doris's funeral.
Yeah, and I took a double take. What's Big Aaron doing here?
Exactly. Exactly. If you don't,
passed away.
Yeah.
If you don't believe in the resurrection of the dead, you haven't seen.
Here he is.
All you have to do is look at me, and then you're convinced that there is such a thing as the resurrection of the dead.
I know. I after that load.
Yes,
8 inches of pulp in the car.
Say what again about the loading pulp into cars?
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, I did many a car with my dad.
Yeah, I didn't help them once.
You did?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
How many loads? How many carfuls?
I don't know how many, but a couple of days I worked for him.
Goodness sake! You know, you still have a back left? That's hard work.
Yeah.
That was hard work.
That's why he made it so far.
Yeah. But you know, I'll tell you an interesting story. My Judy's brother-in-law, they lived in Winnipeg, and he passed away premature. And they had a cottage in Lake of the Woods somewhere, and so at the funeral, I met this guy. Very close friend of Judy's brother-in-law. And he told me he had worked at Kenora or Ontario, Minnesota pulp mill. You know, that's where all the pulp went to that you would have loaded. And I told him, I said, you know, I've loaded lots of gondola cars full of pulp that went to Ontario. And he said, and he called me some bad names. He says, you were the one who created all the hard work for him. You know, and said, well, yes, I guess that's true. And then he said, however, he said, because our cars were all the open gondola cars, right? That's what you would have loaded? You stood in the truck and you shoved them up and
I guess of it, that I don't know.
well, you know the box cars. You can still see them on the railways sometimes. The box cars
with the doors.
And they would, yes, and they would load 8-foot sticks of pulp into those box cars. He said, "Now, that was a bad job to unload those." And I said, "I have never had to load a box car with pulp, and I'm so glad I never had to do that." That, you know, I mean, you would have had to take a stick of pulpwood and carry it manually into the open doors. That would have been terrible. That would have been terrible.
Yeah, just a couple of days after your dad died.
I did not know that. I did not know that. That was hard work. Yeah, that was more than I.
You get to go now.
Say what?
You get to go now.
Yes, absolutely. No, I was just waiting for your dad to come. Well, he's not coming?
My dad?
That too. I'm sorry that he hasn't. Sorry for that.
The church seems to be full of young people.
His dad was here.
And I don't know how many had visitors. But then, let me have your attention, please. I hope you've had a fantastic meal. I know I did. I just wish I had been only 20 years old because I would have gone back for seconds and thirds. I didn't do that today. Let's start off by giving the cooks a hand. They've done an excellent job. Okay, I think the cooks became aware of that. A couple of interesting statistics. There was a total of 56 students that were on the list of the 3 years. Now, many of them, of course, were there for 2 years. Of those, 4 have passed away. There are people from 4 provinces, but none of us moved to Saskatchewan, at least not for long. There are 3 states and 3 countries in total. Only 5 of the 56 people are local, unless you count the cemeteries. And would you believe only 10 ended up in Winnipeg? I thought that was interesting because we know that everybody likes to move to the big city. Before I do a short interview with Lavina, our teacher's wife, we should call her Mrs. Friesen, I guess, just for the next 15 minutes. I want to read a couple of sentences from an article my son-in-law sent me a while back. It's called The Link Between Family History and Resilience in Students. Here's just a couple of excerpts. The connection between students who know history well and their ability to display resilience came out of this research. When I know my history, I feel part of something larger and can be inspired to play my role in this history. So what they're saying is that us getting together here today and figuring out a little bit about our history, getting things put into place, is good for us, and it's good for our children to know about this. Another one of the most important things a family can do is to develop a strong family narrative. The ones who know a lot about their families tend to do better when they face challenges. Dr. Duke said, children who have the most self-confidence have a strong intergenerational self. They know they belong to something bigger than themselves. So, folks, being here tonight is an important part of this thing called Developing Resilience. And the reason all of us have made it this far, in part, I suspect, is because all of us have managed to develop some of that resilience. The next item on the agenda is this interview that I've been promising you. I'm not sure, Lavina, why don't you come up here? Let's all welcome her as she comes up, okay? Lavina faced challenges that none of us know.
Hey, Mrs. Friesen.
Oh, Mrs. Friesen, sorry.
No, I'm fine with Lavina.
She has sisters here and in-laws here.
I feel better if it's Lavina.
You feel better. Okay, I'm going to take this out. And I'm going to ask the question and then give you the mic. Now, these are prepared questions. I don't know how prepared your answers are. And if this inspires any thoughts on your part, we will open the mic for just a few minutes if some of you have specific comments that you want to share. We won't allow you to speak for a long time. Mrs. Lavina gets the honors on that. Can you tell us how the school started and how did Mr. Friesen, Harry, become the teacher?
Well, the way I remember it, Menville, Rowena, and Fisher Branch were concerned about a Christian education for their youth. When the smaller country schools consolidated, that meant they had to send their students to the larger schools in the towns, and so they decided to start their own school, and this was a huge undertaking. And if they joined forces, they could have a bigger and better school, bigger constituency, and therefore more funds. And they bought a small one-room school approximately in the middle of the 3 church districts. And how Harry got to be the teacher? Well, I'm not quite sure, really. I guess they needed a teacher, and Harry had just graduated from grade 12, which at that time already was a pretty good education. At least the board thought it would suffice. Never mind that he had skipped grade 9 and 10, the two grades that he was supposed to be teaching. So the board asked him, and I guess as inexperienced and naive as he was, he accepted, not really knowing what he got himself into. Be that as it may, thus began his teaching career.
What was it like living one paper-thin wall away from the classroom?
The school had a very tiny teacher age at one end of the classroom. It just had 2 small rooms. Paper-thin walls had advantages as well as disadvantages. For one thing, Harry was always within calling distance if I needed him. And I could always hear everything that went on in the classroom. And I guess in turn, the students also heard everything that went on in our little suite. All the rattling pans and running water and running the sewing machine and typing. I did a lot of typing for Harry on our old typewriter, etc. So there were always noises. And they probably could always smell what Harry was going to have for lunch that day. But the biggest disadvantage was that the teacherage did not have its own bathroom facilities. I had to train myself to use the school facilities at recess time when all the students were outside. So now you know why Harry was so adamant about sending all the kids out at recess time. I was just kidding, but...
Do you have a memory or two of the 3 years at IMC you'd like to tell us about, in addition to the ones you've already started with?
You know, I had a hard time with that question, not because I didn't think there were positive things, but I couldn't remember them. After all, it's 50 years ago already. But so I decided to change that question a little bit as to something positive that came out of IMC. Just one thing, how many of you found your spouses at IMC? Or at least met in the classroom? Or are there those here? So that was definitely one positive thing that came out of IMC. And for us, one positive thing was that our son Sheldon, our oldest son Sheldon, was born between the 2nd and the 3rd year. So consequently, we moved out of that small teacher age. Another positive was that Harry found out that he enjoyed teaching, but that his education was very, very inadequate. So after 3 years, we packed up and we moved to university, to Winnipeg, so he could go to university and college. And he's taught many years after that.
Okay, thank you. And by the way, all of you folks out there are welcome to come in here, absolutely, and help us be entertained tonight. Reflecting on the past, Lavina, and now looking into the future, what advice do you have for us today, 50 years later, especially from a spiritual perspective? Did I miss a question? No. Oh, sorry, I did too. Could you share a highlight or two of where life took you and your family after IMC?
Well, first of all, we have 4 children and 6 grandchildren, and life has taken us to many parts of the world, although never across the pond. We did ministry in Belize, in Mexico, in Paraguay, in Texas, in Kansas, and in Manitoba. And it's almost 6 years ago that Harry went home to heaven. After a rich and fulfilled life of ministry. And since then, I've had some very traumatic experiences. I won't go into detail, but you may ask about it later if you are interested. But even in spite of that, I have to say God has been good. Even though at times I couldn't always see the good, many times I thought he had made a mistake, and I still don't have all the answers to my why questions. But that's where faith in a sovereign God comes in. It's enough to know that he knows, and I want to rest in that.
And now question 5, reflecting on the past and now looking into the future. What advice do you have for us today, almost 50 years later, especially from a spiritual perspective?
Well, maybe I answered that to some extent in my last question. It's 50 years ago that you guys were at IMC, and I think it's quite safe to say that we're all over 60 years of age by now. And I know that at least one of our students is a great-grandpa already. There might be more, I don't know, but I know of one. So I think we all agree that life isn't just pie in the sky by and by, or glory by and by. There are aches and pains and struggles and hurts and disappointments that seems to come with our age. The question is, what do we do with these dilemmas? Do we allow these things to make us bitter, grouchy, unthankful, hard to get along with? Or can we kind of look beyond these circumstances and inconveniences and see these things from God's perspective? And that way I think we can age gracefully. May we be encouraged that our sovereign God knows our past, he knows our future, he is in control, and he knows what it takes to bring us safely to glory.
And do you have a Bible verse of encouragement and guidance for us to take home this weekend?
When Moses delivered the Israelites out of Egypt and they came up to the Red Sea, and they saw the Egyptian army pursuing them, they panicked. They began to accuse Moses of bringing them out of Egypt just to kill them in the wilderness. They actually got quite nasty. But then Moses said to the people in Exodus 13 and 14, "Do not fear. Stand by and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will accomplish for you today. The Lord will fight for you while you keep silent." And I was thinking I would want this verse to be an encouragement to us, that we bring our concerns to the Lord, but then we step aside and let God do the fighting for us. We sometimes tend to get in God's way by having our own agenda and trying to push that. But God says, "Do not fear, stand by and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will accomplish for you today. The Lord will fight for you while you keep silent."
Thank you very much, Lavina. Thanks for coming up. Thanks for preparing those responses. Let's all give her a hand. That, it's as if Lavina was in the church service that I was in today. There was one saying that I wrote down that I think ties in very nicely with what she had. The pastor said, everything will be all right in the end. If things aren't all right, it's not the end yet. Those of you who are in Benville will have heard that directly. Are there any responses to the answers that Lavina brought us? Or short memories you have of the good things that happen at IMC? And today it's a party with good things. Elda, you have to come up here.
No.
Oh, you're going to stand there?
Just a question. Who are the 4 people that passed away?
Susie, my sister,
Okay.
reason. Doris Harms Platt. George Caldwell. Now, I'm not sure if he's on the list, and I didn't remember him. And Naomi.
What?
Yeah.
Ed Reimer too, right?
And who?
Eddie Reimer.
Eddie, but he didn't go to the school. And I'm not sure, but he would have gone to Riverton.
He was there.
In IMC?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't remember him, but he would have passed away.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I have a list, by the way, of all of those if you want to take a look at it. Well, I'm sure all of us have chatted a lot, and we've all caught up on a lot of stuff. I know a lot of facts that I didn't know before I came last night. Some of the things are not nearly as clear to anyone as they once were. We have several board members here tonight. Their memories are getting a little poor. All of us were too young, the students were too young to have memories that lasted, and probably we didn't quite understand the logic of the school. But I would like to invite Harold up here to do the honors for the board, the members who are here and the members who served back then 50 years ago. Harold, would you come up, please? I'm going to let you stand in front of the mic.
Okay.
And I'll back up.
I'd like to just take this opportunity to just express my appreciation. Is this thing working? It feels like it's talking back at me. Thank you all for coming. Some of you came a long way and made a huge effort to be here, and it's just really good to see all of you again. And it's just been a really good time. It's been a lot of fun preparing for this too. Of course, I just kind of stood there, but Ron and Judy really put their shoulder to the wheel, and we just stood on the side and clapped and nodded our heads. So, thanks again. A good friend of mine helped me onto this one some years ago. He said, people always want to know your age and your weight, but they're too polite to ask. So I'm 64 years old, and on a good day I'm 235 pounds. So now you know, so we can go on now. School board. I have in front of me a picture of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 8 men who were the school board this particular year that I'm almost positive. In fact, we are positive. There were a few more than what I have here. So, but we're not entirely sure who these others were. So I hope you will help us out just to so we don't miss anybody. The ones I have here are H.D. Plett, A.P. Plett, I.P. Reimer. I think that's an I. It looks kind of looks like an I. I didn't bring my binoculars, I'm sorry. P.F. Dewick, F.D. Reimer, C.P. Friesen, H.P. Plett. Oh yeah, we had an H.D. Plett, H.P. Plett. Okay, and Pete Dewick and A.B. Reimer. And they're all in this picture, so this is guaranteed they were on this board. Now we know there were a few more, and would you please speak up, get up, tell us who these other people were?
Lindsay Dick was involved, but was on the board.
Henry says Willie Dewick was on the board.
No, he was involved with buying the land.
Oh, here we go. So, okay, these are the same names though that I have. Right?
Well,
oh, okay, right here. Willie Dewick's name is on here.
Ian Reimer.
I have one little clue that there might have been a person by the name of Jay Krager. He's not on either one of these lists, but there's an article here written, and it says former board member Jacob Krager, so I'm pretty sure he was there too. Anyone else?
Pete is here, you know that. Pete Dick is here, you know that.
Pete's not Willie. Or is Willie gone?
Willie's gone.
Okay.
Pete Dewick is right here, looking straight at me. Okay, are we satisfied with that list? Okay. Anyway, we really appreciate these men who, they had a vision way back then, and they did what, I think they did what they thought was the best thing for the community, and they put their shoulder to the wheel and came up with money and time and effort and whatever passion it took to get this thing going. I don't know why the school only lasted 3 years. It seems like a bit of a short time now looking back, but I guess there was a reason for that too. So anyway, thanks again.
Thank you, Harold. I'm going to break the schedule for a little bit. I was going to do this right at the end, but I'm going to do it right now. Keep it short, as I promised. Ron and Judy, would you come up, please? And immediately after this, we're going to ask Wilmer and Pearl to perform for us. They do this kind of stuff in Alberta. And guess what? Albertans are actually pretty good people. We have two of them right here. Ron was the instigator for all of this, and Judy was his sidekick. I don't know that one of you is complete without the other. And I know Ron put a great deal of effort into this. It wouldn't have come together if it wasn't for this couple. So tonight, I'd like you to honor them by clapping with me. Thank you very much.
Henry, I want to say one or two things.
Okay, it's your chance.
On behalf of Judy and myself, a big, big thank you to each one of my former students and your spouses, or I should say my former classmates, and your spouses for coming. I had the best job, and I want to take a minute and just say thank you. Henry, you were always there. I could bounce stuff off of you. To you and Nancy, thank you very much. Janice, whenever I had a second doubt or wondering, I could email you or phone you and say, hey, what do you think about this? will this work, won't it work? Janice, thank you very, very much. Walden and Eileen. Walden and I have been buds since we were in grade school. We have had many good times, and tonight is another one of them. Walden and Eileen, thank you very, very much. Thank you. Sheila, Walden and Eileen brought your name to us, and you've done a great job for us. Harold and Marlene. I see Harold, of course. Marlene, where are you? Marlene, you just grabbed hold of the menu tonight. You grabbed hold of us in many of the details, and you just made it happen. Thank you very much. And by the way, Judy and I have been here for a couple of days, and I've said this twice already. There was a sign in our neighbor's house in St. Albert that said, "House guests are like fish. After 3 days, they begin to smell." And she has been gracious, and Harold has been gracious, and they still let us stay one more night. Thank you very much. This has been an awesome, awesome time. Heidi, I know you didn't want to participate very much, but my gosh, I'm thankful that you did. I could call you once in a while. I just want to say thank you. Who have I missed, Henry? I hope nobody. I hope nobody.
Lavina.
Absolutely.
She was in the email list.
Yes, Lavina was always there, and that was a good thing. Marlene, who did I miss?
Ray Murphy?
Yes. If it hadn't been for Ray Saturday night, it wouldn't have happened. Ray, thank you very, very much for prompting that idea for us. It wouldn't have happened last night if you hadn't been there. But the other thing...
And Facebook.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know what? Technology and me, we don't live in the same address. And all I had to do was phone you up or text you or email you, and boom, it was done. Magic. Thank you very, very much, Ray.
You're welcome.
Much, much appreciated.
You're welcome.
Tonight, I heard this from somebody else, and I don't remember who. But as Lavina said, there's none of us who are here who aren't already 60. And as we slide into our golden years, we live on good memories. And tonight is one of those things that we'll walk away with, and we'll be able to live on a good memory or two for a little while. And that's what this is all about. Before we go, do you have one handout that you want to hand out? With that photo there. Yeah. You still have that?
Yep.
Awesome.
What's that?
So you take care of that photo.
Oh,
You do that.
I'll take care of it. Don't any of you run away before I talk to you. Okay?
Yes. But could we just ask Lavina, would you come up one more time, please?
I haven't done that yet.
Oh, but do you have it in here?
Yes, I do.
That's good. The other one we can circulate later.
Okay? Okay, so I'll let the cat out of the bag. I'll let the cat out of the bag. Lavina, we're going to get all the students to write a little note on the back of this. Folks, this is a thank you card of the large size variety. There's a picture of Harry and a picture of Lavina, Interlake Mennonite Collegiate 1966 to 1969. So if you'll leave me with this for another 10 minutes while the singing starts, I will be getting people to write on it, and it'll be yours.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. There will be food for sale afterwards, because we didn't eat all of it. We're 60 after all, we were told, so we don't eat as much as we used to. And I will ask Ron to come back up after Wilmer and Pearl to put a final prayer blessing on all of this. Wilmer and Pearl, you'll have to tell us something about yourself. Now, Wilmer is distinguished. I'm not sure if he dyed his hair or not, but the contrast with Pearl is rather significant. We won't even guess who died and who didn't. But I know that you perform in Alberta. I know you like singing. And I really don't know much more about your performing. And so you come up here and do your thing and entertain all of us. Would you please welcome Wilmer and Pearl?
these mics than I do, right? Because you put me on this. I'll just sign off.
I never thought 50 years ago that I'd be doing this. I'm probably the most uneducated person in the audience. I'll try hard not to prove it. Yeah, I do love playing. If the sound is bad out, somebody's going to let me know. Yeah, Pearl is not up on the stage here today, so I will try to. Well, I can't make up for it, but I'll do some singing here for you. And I like to sing low. So sometimes it's hard to get the mics adjusted properly. And like I said, I sing much better with a hat on. Not sure where that started. While the world blows upon me as I struggle alone, they say I have nothing, but they are so wrong. In my heart, I'm rejoicing. How I wish they could see. Thank you, Lord, for your blessings on me. There's a roof up above me. I've a good place to sleep. There's food on my table and shoes on my feet. You gave me your love and a fine family. Thank you, Lord, for your blessings on me. Although I'm not wealthy and these clothes are not new, I don't have much money, but Lord, I have you. To me, that's all that matters, though the world may not see. Thank you, Lord, for your blessings on me. There's a roof up above me, I've a good place to sleep. There's food on my table and shoes on my feet. You gave me your love, Lord, and a fine family. Thank you, Lord, for your blessings on me. Thank you, Lord, for your blessings on me. Thank you. I got to hear that if Johnny Cash could sing, then I could sing too. So, and I knew Johnny Cash sang low, so I thought I'd do too. Whammy Lord is one of those that you recorded. What did I ever done to deserve even one of the blessings I've known? Whammy Lord, what did I ever do that was worth love from you and the kindness you've shown? Lord, help me, Jesus, I've wasted it, so help me, Jesus, I know what I am. Now that I know that I've needed you, so help me, Jesus, my soul's in your hand. Try me, Lord. If you think there's a way that I can repay Now that I know that I needed you, so help me, Jesus. My soul's in your hand. Jesus, my soul's in your hand. Thank you. Here's another one that might move a little faster. Swing low, sweet chariot. And I like to do it with harmonica too. I'll just quickly switch instruments, so if you want to take a sip of coffee, go ahead. I was actually thinking of asking somebody to play my guitar for me, and I started to feel a little bad. How did that happen? I asked somebody to play my guitar for me. Oh, they told me they didn't know how to play guitar. And I said, well, you probably don't know how to play mine. Oh yeah, I can play your guitar. And the drummer beside me was laughing. Something's not right here. But anyway, yeah, I can play your guitar. Well, if you insist. I took the guitar, gave it to her, and she started recording. Something was wrong. Well, yeah, there is something wrong. I have a 5-string guitar, not a 6. I got 5 fingers on the one hand, 5 strings is enough. And since I started playing banjo first, I tuned my guitar like a banjo, so I wouldn't have to learn new chords on a chainer. Reminiscing, the old country church. Is it coming through okay as far as you can tell? Okay. Banjos are terrible for tuning. Something didn't sound right. I had it all tuned before. Now, if we only had more electronic devices that knew how to tune your thing before you start a song. I'm sorry about that, but banjos are notorious for keeping tune. Try again. There's a place dear to me where I'm longing to be with my friends at the old country church. There with mother we went and our Sundays were spent with our friends at the old country church. Precious tears of memory, oh what joy they bring to me. How I long once more to be with my friends at the old country church. As a small country boy, how my heart would beat with joy when I knelt in the old country church. And the Savior above, by His wonderful love, set my soul at the old country church. Precious years of memory, oh what joy they bring to me. How I long once more to be with my friends at the old country church. Thank you. My next song, Daddy Sing Grace. Some days my voice is a little lower than others, but usually it's low. And if you know this song, if you know the song, there is a lady's part, and I always have problems with that because I do a bad job of imitating the lady's part. So it's only one little line, so forgive me. I remember when I was a lad, times were hard and things were bad. There's a silver lining behind Me and little brother would join right in there, singing seems to help a troubled soul. One of these days and it won't be long, and I'll rejoin them in a song. I'm gonna join the family circle at the throne. No, the circle won't be broken, by and by, Lord, by and by. Daddy sang beats. There we go. Me and little brother will join right in there in the sky, Lord, in the sky. I remember after work, Mama would call in all of us. You could hear us singing for a country mile. Now little brother has gone on, but I'll rejoin him in a song. We'll be together again up yonder in a little while. Daddy sang beats. Well, maybe a little bit louder next time. I appreciate that. That's brave, I tell you. Me and little brother would join right in there, singing seems to help a troubled soul. One of these days it won't be long, and I'll rejoin them in a song. I'm going to join the family circle at the throne. No, the circle won't be broken, by and by, Lord, by and by. Daddy sang beats. Me and little brother will join right in there in the sky, Lord, in the sky. You can give yourself a hand. I appreciate that, ladies, when you just get up there. I know it's a little hard with the low voice, but I'm glad you're doing that. That's good. Some of the places where I go sing, I've already found out that I've done it enough times, done the song enough times that there's some that they already know. Yeah, when we get to that point, we got to be ready. So thank you. That's good. I appreciate that bravery. You know. I have another song here that I'll quickly change to the guitar because I think the guitar is a little bit more fitted. I have always had my heroes. I've loved a lot of ladies. Many men in my mind are riding tall. But my cowboy hero, hats off to the man who rode a donkey. He's the greatest cowboy of them all. He loves all his little doings. He speaks to them kind and gentle, and he'll lift up any maverick that falls. He sees every stray that scatters, like it's the only one that matters. He's the greatest cowboy of them all. Once he rode into the some returning sunrise, you'll call up all the riders in the sky. Gotta get my roll together, getting ready for that sunrise that winds up where old cowboys never die. The trail he rides is narrow, but it's straighter than an arrow. And he rides point for all the great and small. He will take us through the wire, right onto the plain that's higher. He's the greatest cowboy of them all. Once he rode into the sunset, but some returning sunrise, he'll call up all the riders in the sky. Gotta get my roll together, getting ready for that sunrise that winds up where old cowboys never die. The trail he rides is narrow, but it's straighter than an arrow. And he rides point for all the great and small. He will take us through the wire, right onto the plain that's higher. He's the greatest cowboy of them all. Yeah, the greatest cowboy of them all. Thank you. I hope you don't mind this country stuff. I hope well, I think you're still in Western Canada. I do a little bit of, when I go to these lodges and sing, I do a little bit of secular stuff as well, because a lot of these lodges there are Christians and non-Christians alike, and we like to cater to both. So I do a little bit of that too. I was going to maybe say a little bit more about myself, introduce myself, but I may do it in a song, if that's okay. I wasn't quite sure, but because so much of this is reminiscing, and I wasn't quite sure. I mean, I didn't go to the high school, but I did go to the Marina High School, and I know some of you were in that school. So I'm gonna go a little bit change from my original scheduled plan, and I borrowed a little bit of Johnny Cash's tune. So I hope you don't mind this one. For some of you it might ring a bell, and we'll see what happens. We start, when you introduce yourself, what do? You kind of give the audience a quick rundown on what you're doing and all that kind of stuff. So, I'll do it in a song, and I hope the words are clear so that you can hear, because it always is better when you know what all the words are. When I was just a lad in friendly Manitoba, grew up on a farm, chickens, cows, and horses, but let me tell you, friend, just what a life that was, how we made a living. I'll never understand. When I was only 6, I started up to school, had to walk 2 miles, I think uphill both ways. There was no school bus, then just older roads to see. But the teacher taught me English, and that's what tortured me. ranch, neighbors not so close, you couldn't see that far. We were a little lonely, but lots of things to do. Yeah, we picked a lot of rocks, and that's what tortured me. When I was just 15, I made it to grade 10, for the Walter was my teacher. I learned a lot back then. Well, I try to recollect all the things I should have learned. I can't remember anything, and that's what tortured me. When I was 25, I married a country girl. We had 4 sweet kids, a Jody, Jack, and Carla. They grew up in a hurry, healthy, wealthy, and wise. They really make us happy. There is no torture here. When I was 39, we moved to Calgary. Many houses to be built in this paper city. The streets are always full of traffic jams. You see people blowing horns at me, and that's what tortured me. Well, I'm almost over the hill. My joints are creaking too. My muscles ache a lot, 'cause that's my lot in life. Bifocals and false teeth, pills and medications too. I need them more and more, and that's what tortured me. Thank you. Can you understand most of the words?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful. If there's too many words that get missed in between, that kind of you miss the story. But that's kind of, I don't think I need any more introduction to that. When I go to these lodges and sing, I always kind of feel the need to see if I can't bring a smile or two to the faces. And so I kind of work on some of the humorous stuff, if I can just possibly do that. I have a couple of more songs on my banjo that I want to play for you. The first one here is called A Framer's Alphabet. I don't know if any of you have heard that one. I don't know if there's that one, but some of you must have heard Farmer's Alphabet. Anybody? Farmer's Alphabet? Farmers? No? Okay. Well, there's not a whole lot of difference between farming and framing, if you know what I mean. You just switch a couple of letters around and bingo, you're doing one or the other. And both framers, and framers complain a little bit about the weather too, you know. If it rains, we complain, it couldn't be dry. And if the sun shines all the time, oh, we got to go to work, we have a holiday, etc., etc. But anyway, I have a song called Framer's Alphabet here. I'll just quickly switch. Now, how many are carpenters here? How many are carpenters or have been carpenters, have dealt with that kind of stuff? Okay, there we go. I thought there might be a few, and some of you will understand some of this stuff as well. Now, if I miss a letter of the alphabet, I guess I better go to school. Again, there is a line on every letter of the alphabet here, so I bet you better be able to get all 26. Was there 26 letters? There was when I went to school, I think. A, C is for Columbus, who got me in this mess. E is for the dollars that I owe. E is for the engine my work truck badly need. F is for the freezing ice and snow. G is for the crazy guys that love to work for me. H is for the hours of overtime. I is for the injuries that happen all the time. J is for the better jobs out there. K is for the kids that are in bed when I get home. L is for the lunch that's getting old. M is for the misery that framing causes me. N is for the nails that are turning blue. O is for the others that seem to have it made. P is for the pension I won't get. Q is for the questions they ask when I don't pay. R is for the reasons that I give. S is for the sunshine that comes when I need rest. T is for the taxes that I pay. U is for my ulcers that keep on coming back. V is for the vacuum in my purse. W is for waiting, I'm doing it for years. X is where I sign for better or for worse. Y is for the years of work that left me old and gray. Z is for the zip that I once had. So if you want to be a framer, put your money in the bank. Then go and see a psychiatrist instead. A lot of the folks back in Stratford doing a lot and whatnot, they all know Johnny Cash, and so they love some of the songs that he did. And I have two here. One of them is Ring of Fire. And we'll do that one first before the other one, I Walk the Line. I bet you most of you knew who Johnny Cash was. Yeah, I kind of thought so. Love is a burning thing, and it makes a fiery ring. And by wild desire, I fell into a ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. Down, 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 and the flames went higher, and they burned, burned, burned. Ring of fire, ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. Down, 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 and the flames went higher, and they burned, burned, burned. Ring of fire, ring of fire. The taste of love is sweet when hearts like ours beat. I fell for you like a child. Oh, but the fire went wild. I fell into a burning ring of fire. Down, 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 and the flames went higher, and it burned, burned, burned. Ring of fire, ring of fire. I fell and it burns, burns, burns. Ring of fire, ring of fire, ring of fire. Thank you. I know I'm not Johnny Cash, but I can maybe sing some of his songs.
Boy named Sue.
Yeah, I wish. I have a little bit of learning to do yet. I'm thinking as long as I'm not too old to learn, there's some hope. So I have another. Okay, I'll do Walk the Line, and then I'll quickly change to my guitar. I keep a close watch on this heart of mine. I keep my eyes wide open all the time. I keep the ends up for the tie that binds. Because you're mine, I walk the line. Do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do. I find it very, very easy to be true. I find myself alone when the day is through. Yes, I'll admit that I'm a fool for you. Because you're mine, I walk the line. Do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do. As sure as night is dark and day is light, keep you on my mind both day and night. And happiness I've known, prove that it's right. Because you're mine, I walk the line. Do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do. You've got a way to keep me on your side. You give me cause for love that I can't hide. For you I know I'd even try to turn the tide. Because you're mine, I walk the line. Do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do. Keep a close watch on this heart of mine. Keep my eyes wide open all the time. I keep the ends up for the tie that binds. Because you're mine, I walk the line. Do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do. Thank you. I know Johnny Cash did all those chord changes from the different versions, but I kind of stuck to what I know how to do. Okay, here's a song for farmers. Well, sort of. How many of you know who Metro was? 2? Well, I'll give you a little bit of taste of what he was like. Here's a Johnny Cash melody. Don't take your truck to town. We brought her home that rainy day, since then we've had no trouble. Metro and his pickup truck have seen a lot of stubble. We got her new in 52 and made the payment down. As I pull away, Katrina said, don't take the truck to town, hon. Leave the truck at home. Don't take the truck to town. You should have seen the way she run through mud and snow and hail. But the parts I need to make her run could fill a big slop pail. The radiator's heating up, the oil pressure's down. I threw a rod in the engine. Don't take the truck to town, hon. Leave the truck at home. Don't take the truck to town. The town is getting nearer now. I see the lights ahead. I'm out of gas, the tires are low, the battery's nearly dead. I'm hitting just about 45, I got that pedal down. Katrina's words I hear again. Don't take the truck to town, hon, leave that rat at home. Don't take the truck to town. My speeding meter says to me I'm really in a hurry. The flashing lights I hear the sign, but not to make it worry. A motorcycle with a couples up and flagged me down. And now I wondered if I should've took the truck to town, hon, left that heat at home. Don't take the truck to town. The ticket he wrote up to me was simple, plain and straight. Fix the lights, the muffler too, and buy a license plate. Till this day Metro can't forget that old familiar sound. The RCMP telling me 2, 3, don't take the truck to town, hon, leave the truck at home. Don't take the truck to town. 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 Thank you. You know, like I said, to be, when I go to some of these places and the more I think about it, the more I've come to the conclusion that laughter is music. And especially when you see these older people in these lodges, in wheelchairs and whatnot, in their walkers, and you know they've got a tough life behind them, and they can still laugh and that kind of thing. Laughter is music. Laughter means that for the moment, they haven't been able to forget their troubles. So to me, laughter is a wonderful thing. Oh, and it does have health benefits. I heard a doctor on the radio say that if you laugh for half an hour a day for a year, your good cholesterol will come up 26%. Isn't that a good thing then? And then he says that your diabetes is more manageable too if you do that. So I haven't quite gotten into that yet. I can just picture some of you folks. You're going to go now and at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, you're going to go down in the living room or whatever, put that mirror on the wall, and you're going to sit down on the rocking chair and you're going to look at that face in the mirror. And once you start, half an hour might just go by quick. I have 2 more of these. What do you call them? Weird? Whatever you might call them. You ask me if I love you, if my love is true. Well, if I were a rich man, it is what I do. I'd buy you a diamond ring, for a coat or 2. If my nose is running money, go it all on you. If my nose is running money, I go it all on you. Buy you a Cadillac, a new Mercedes too. I build you a mansion upon that mountain top. If my nose is running money, but honey, it's not. Pardon the expression. There's no better way to say it. If my nose is running money, you get anything you please. Anytime you wanted cash, all I'd have to do is sneeze. Honey, you'd win the lottery when I have a cold or flu. My nose is running money, I blow it all on you. It's a booger of a problem I've got. I wish my nose was running money, but it's not. buy you a diamond ring and new fur coat or two. If my nose is running money, I blow it all on you. It's a booger of a problem I've got. I wish my nose was running money, but it's not. I'd buy you a diamond ring and new fur coat or two. If my nose is running money, I'd blow it all on you. Here is one that some of you might recall from a few years back. I can't remember the original guy that did this one, but I thought to myself, this may be a typical Mennonite, maybe it doesn't sound right if I say Mennonite, but a typical Mennonite upbringing. And, well, I don't know about girls in general when they was growing up, but I sure do know about boys when they misbehaved. Well, I'll do the singing and then you'll figure it out. My pappy used to tend my hide out behind the barn, taught me to be dignified out behind the barn. But when he took that strap to me and turned me down across his knee, he sure hurt my dignity out behind the barn. Smoked my first cigarette out behind the barn. That's one day I won't forget out behind the barn. I got so sick you should have seen how that tobacco turned me green. Almost died from nicotine out behind the barn. Got my education out behind the barn. I'm not fooling no siree. Passed each examination out behind the barn, but it almost made a wreck out of me. I met a pretty girl one day out behind the barn. Wanted me to stay and play out behind the barn. She taught me how to kiss and pet and laugh again. I won't forget, we still play the same game yet out behind the barn. I wish that I could go again out behind the barn, do some things that I did then out behind the barn. Now you think it ain't no fun to be a poor old farmer's son. You just don't know all I've done out behind the barn. Got my education out behind the barn. I'm not fooling no siree. Passed each examination out behind the barn, but it almost made a wreck out of me. Thank you. I wouldn't really say that my dad tanned my hide, but when I done something bad, it was serious consequences. And if it wasn't behind the barn, then it was in the shed or somewhere. I think a typical Mennonite upbringing probably meant the Board of Education or something like that. My last song here. As opposed to really, okay, we had a few last year, and that's good, but some of us have problems to go to, and this song is meant to be an encouragement. The Carter family would be well known for singing this one. Since I got a solo, you'll have to forgive me, but I would like to do the song Keep On the Sunny Side. Is that familiar to most of you? Okay. There's a dark and a troubled side of life. There's a bright and a sunny side too. Though we meet with the darkness of strife, the sunny side we also renew. Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side of love. It will help us every day, it will brighten all our way, if we keep on the sunny side of life. Though the storm and its fury breaks today, crushing hopes that we cherish so deep, the clouds and storm will in time pass away, and the sun again will shine bright and clear. Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side of life. It will help us every day, it will brighten all our way, if we keep on the sunny side of life. Let us treat with a song of hope each day, though the moment be cloudy or clear. Let us trust in our Savior always, He will keep us everyone in His hand. Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side of love. It will help us every day, it will brighten all our way, if we keep on the sunny side of life. Well, thank you very much. As I was saying before, that I'm probably the least educated of you all, and I'm thinking, boy, how am I going to do this? How's this going to work out? And when I see your faces smile a little, that just makes me a little happier, and encourages me as well. So I'd like to thank you very much for letting me come out here and giving you some of these songs. And yeah, I guess when you get to be well into the 60s, yeah, you never know really exactly what's going to be back behind of that. So, but it has been good to meet those people I've met. It's been great to talk and great to catch up. So once again, thank you very much for allowing me to be here.
Are you selling CDs?
Or do we have to make our own?
Yeah, you might be better off to make your own. This way I don't run into legal troubles.
Wilbur, I'd like to ask you for one favor, if I may.
What's that?
Could I see your hat for a second?
There's no money in it.
Okay, could you give me your banjo?
He's going to play.
He said something about he sang better if he wore the hat. So is this a guarantee?
Absolutely. I may come from Strathmore, Alberta, but I guarantee it from over there. Let me get home first before I put it in writing, but yeah.
That was a note, wasn't it? That's good, folks.
Yeah. Oh, if you're going to play that, you better get yourself some fingernail extensions.
Maybe I need a bigger hat.
Yeah, a bigger hat would always do it. You know, a bigger hat would allow you to go like this in the middle of a concert, you know what I mean?
Well, folks, I think we were surprised by Wilbur's deep voice and by some of the songs that I'm going to be repeating. I'm going to tell my wife about that nose song. She already knows I blow everything on her.
Well, you know, I did sing with the Southern Gospel Quartet, and the idea there was to work your voice lower and lower, and I did.
Well, thank you very much. Let's give them another round of applause.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated. And really glad I was able to do this. Thank you very much.
If you ever come to Niverville to perform, I'll be there. Promise.